muted on this side.
Okay.
But
The earphones should be in the thing. Oh, it's going.
all right. I think we're here. All right. Well, then y'all just let me know if y'all can see me, y'all can hear me. Ooh. All right. Thank y'all. I'm glad that somebody can let me know that you see me. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank y'all so much for still joining in. I know, I know. Anytime you move, get ready for the adjustment phase, right? So moving. If you don't know, this is it's time to move part 2. So come on in, come on in. I know we are well past our time, but y'all come on in. Let me know in the comment section if you can hear me. Those that are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. Oh goodness, I forget is one more. I can never remember. However, those of you that are on Instagram, thank y'all for letting me know that you were able to see me. We're going to keep rolling. We're going to keep rocking. So come on in. It's Monday. It's Monday. It is a Monday for sure. Monday for sure. So, just in case you don't know, I'm Miss Quita. I am your host for Real Resilient Conversations. We do this every second and fourth Monday of the month. Second and fourth, we give you a 2 and a 4. Second and fourth Monday of the month, where we take 30 minutes of your time. We take unique, quirky topics, and we make sure that we let you know, hey, this is what we got for you in response to how to become a more resilient you. And so whether you are watching this live, you're watching it on rebroadcast, you snuggled up with somebody, or you just home alone, taking the time out just to do some personal development, I want to tell you thank you so much for joining. I know you could have been anywhere else, so I appreciate your time. So with that being said, we are starting late. That's just how it is anytime you move, right? There's always going to be ups and downs and bumps in the road. And I thank you so much for still taking the time out to join us. So if it is your first time, please let me know in the comment section that it is your first time joining. I want to take the time to acknowledge you and welcome you into the Real Resilient Conversation crew. For those of you who are back again for your mid-month fill up, hey y'all, welcome back, family. So good to see y'all again. I always love those that take the time to say, hey, I still want to be a part of what you got going on, and you support me. Your support does not go unnoticed. So I want to tell you thank you. I do want to ask a favor. If you could like, share, subscribe. If not for you, but for someone else that may need the information, you never know. This is also just the time to really just reflect on who you are, where you're going. And the resiliency part is more so just being able to bounce back when life hits you with that sucker punch, that 1-2 knockout. You're able to get back up again and get back in the fight and keep going for your race towards the finish line. And guess what? There is no finish line, because as soon as you reach that finish line, it is yet the beginning of another chapter. So with that being said, tonight's topic is it's time to move. So those of you that are joining in and you're hearing it's time to move, tell me if you didn't watch part 1, tell me what you think in part 2 we're going to talk about when we're talking about it's time to move, because there's so much movement going on in life, right? We are all moving at some form or fashion, right? We are moving. We are going through trials, tribulations, roller coasters, up, down, around, and around. And this is the time that I really want to talk about how resiliency ties in with it's time to move. So those of you on Instagram, hello, how y'all doing? Love you, love you. I know that I have to see you at a different angle because I have cameras in different areas. But thank you so much for joining. Your time is very much appreciated. Those of you on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, thank y'all so much for joining in. I love y'all. I appreciate you. So we're going to jump right in. I'm going to give y'all a little bit of time to give me your thoughts, your feelings your emotions when it comes to it's time to move. And because Lord knows we don't want to be a problem, right? We don't. I'm afraid, and I know I shouldn't say afraid, but my thought is, let me move because I don't want to be in the way. When it is my time, I want to be in the right place at the right time to receive the right blessings, right? And when we don't move according to the time that we are allotted, then we miss out. And then we're wondering why our blessings and what we have been praying for and asking for and heading towards is now on hold. And so my goal really today, my responsibility as your host is to inform you, give you some tools to figure out how to become resilient in your everyday life with your everyday triggers, your everyday situations, right? Conversations. All I'm here to do is just to trigger those thoughts and to let you go forth, okay? So if you said, I no longer want to be the problem. I want to be the answer. That is exactly how this company with Real Resilient Consulting got started. That's how Real Resilient Conversations joined in on that. It's because I said, I don't want to be a problem anymore. I want to be a solution to someone else's problem. I know that I am probably somebody else's problem. They probably love me and I don't love them back or something crazy. But being able to be an answer to someone else's problem is where I want to be. So, because your next move needs to be your best move, right? It has to be a thought that maybe I am someone else's prayer. Have you ever thought that someone else prayed for friends and they got you? Someone else prayed that they have a wonderful daughter or a wonderful son and they got you, right? Someone was praying for a husband, for a wife, right? And they got you. You were the answer to someone's prayer because you made the move to be where you needed to be. They made the move to answer the question and the problem, the things that were in their mind. Like, I think this is where I need to be. This is who I need to be with. They were the answer to a problem. They were the answer to a question. Are you the answer to someone else's questions and someone else's problems? And so, what I really want you to do is think about this. Pastor Darius said of Change Church, he said, hey, guess what? Change only comes when you do, because seasons change with time. But but cycles, right? Cycles only change when you do. So my question to you today is, are you in a cycle or are you in a season? So when you're talking about moving, right? When you have to move, you have to think about where are you before you make your move. Think about any game that you played, any board game, any card game, any game that you played. You have to say, where am I and where do I want to go? And how do I get there? So when he said, what cycle are you in? Or what season are you in? That will indicate how you need to move. If you're in a season, you know that there are certain things you have to go through, right? In order for you to get to where you need to be, right? To move to the next place, you know that you have to uproot some things in that particular season to get ready to move and be in place in the next season. However, if you are in a cycle, which is something I had to ask myself, if you are in a cycle, are you just repeating the same thing again because you haven't learned a lesson? Are you going through and dating the same type of people because you haven't learned the lesson? Are you only looking for certain characteristics because those are the characteristics that make you feel comfortable? What is it in that cycle that you are repeating? For those that have addictions, are you repeating that cycle because it's what's comfortable? Or are you in a season where this is just what I have to endure to get to my next step, right? My next season. And so I really want you all to consider when I tell you that, what type of things do you think come along with that move in reference to a season versus a cycle, right? Thank you so much for those that are on Instagram. Yes, it is a Wizard of Oz background. And thank you so much, Lonnie, for joining in. And thank you so much for my Latino sister. You know who you are. Thank you, friend. I got you. Thank y'all so much Mom, thank you, Mr. Bondin. Thank y'all so much for joining in. WSAN Radio of San Antonio. Thank you once again for joining in on Twitch. We love and appreciate you. So, yes, what I really want y'all to think about now. If you are feeling that you're in a cycle, I'd like to give y'all a little shout outs when I can. If you are in a cycle, or if you feel like you are just in a season, right? Feeling that way doesn't make it wrong in either way. If you are in a cycle or if you're in a season, don't feel bad about either one. That's something Quita had to say to herself, right? Because it doesn't mean that it was just wrong, but now you need time to adjust, right? What happens if you're playing a game and you make a move and you're like, oh man, if I would have played this card, I would have got him. Right? Last night I played Uno with a friend and he kept saying, man, you cheating, man, you cheating. I said, I ain't cheating. I'm just waiting until it's time for me to put out the right card. You got to be strategic about that thing. Right? Whenever you are in this thing called life, it is a game of life for real. You have to be very strategic and understand that every decision that you are making is not necessarily the wrong decision. It is not, it may not be the best decision, but maybe not the wrong decision. The reason I say that is because every decision can either be the right decision or an opportunity to change, an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to grow. I try not to say that you're wrong, but I say maybe there's a better way that we could have gone about doing it, especially when you're talking to children, right? And so you have to trust that your decision, right, whether it be right, wrong, or indifferent, whether it be something that you're like, that was the right decision, whether you like, either way, it's cool, or you say, man, what should I have learned from that? Because obviously that wasn't the best way for me to go, right? When you trust your decision, you have to say, yes, I may, at this time, this is a cycle that I need to figure out how to break. Or at this time, this is just a season that I have to endure like a soldier, make it through, and then it's going to get me to exactly where I need to be. And what I really want you to do is stop condemning yourself from old struggles. Anybody else out there still condemning yourself from your old struggles? Right? Sandy, I know you with me, girl, when it comes to that, right? Don't condemn yourself because you were with the wrong person, you made the wrong choices. Now you got this baby daddy or baby mama or whatever. Now your finances are in shambles, right? You're emotionally broken up. Don't beat yourself up. Look back and say, what should I have learned from that? And what can I do from this point on to be better? Your greatest blessings come from your biggest disappointments. Does that make sense? Right? Your greatest blessings come from your biggest disappointments. I really want you all to forgive yourself. Tonight, I really want you to take this time out to forgive yourself. Put your hands over your heart, on your chest, on your head, on your stomach, and forgive yourself. Love on yourself. Whatever decisions, today I want you to release it. I want you to breathe through it. I want you to release it and say, okay, and I'm still good because of it. I'm still a better person because of it. I'm still here because there's still a place in this world where your presence is needed, right? So moving can look something like this. Taking care of you instead of taking care of everybody else. Taking care of you instead of taking care of this deadbeat boyfriend or girlfriend, right? Taking care of you and being honest about what you feel, about what you're doing, about what is right for you. That's what moving could look like. Moving on the board, this thing called life looks different, right? Just letting things be and understand that people are who they are. Don't look to change them. When we expect to change people, our moves now are based upon their movements. Don't look to change people. Let people be exactly who they are. I have learned to appreciate people exactly how they are. When people say, oh, Queen, I'm going to move there to be with you. I'm going to do this to be with you. I'm going to be here to be with you. It's all fun and games until I say, okay, so when? Right? Now I start saying, okay, no problem. I don't even ask anymore. I am getting to the point where I stop asking. At the tender age of 41, no longer time to start asking people to forgive you, to give you time, to dedicate, and to be honest about what they want, who they want, where they want, or if they are going to be true to you, love you, be honest with you, be honest with yourself, because other people won't be honest with you all the time. So you have to be honest with yourself about how you feel, what you feel, and when you feel it, right? Decide when enough is enough and just this is where we part ways, or this is where change has to come, because this cycle will not progress, right? A cycle is what a circle, right? Even in a circuit, it goes around and around, but it still comes back to the same point. Let this be the time that you either cut the circuit, you break off what is no longer serving you, or you say, at this time, I understand that I need this friend for this purpose, and afterwards, let it go, right? I really want you all to think about developing yourself to become a better parent, a better friend, a better sister, better brother, better husband, better wife, better business partner, right? Better developer, better employee, better manager, better you. When you're thinking about that, then guess what? You also start thinking about being a better sibling, being a better child, being better mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, because you say, what can I do to become a better? Not in comparison to anyone else but yourself. Don't look on social media, because social media will deceive you, right? Social media will make you think that everybody's life is so much better and so much easier, right? And this is why I like to be transparent with y'all and tell you that there are things that are wrong, there are things that are hard, there are things that I still struggle with, because as a speaker, as someone that tells you exactly what you need to know, what you need to know, not just because it sounds good, but because it's life. It's because that's what we're dealing with on a day-to-day. I tell you these things because guess what? When I have hard days, just like I tell my coworker, I'm like, girl, we need to go in here, dance that thing off. Put that song in your head, get it out, get it out, get it out, get it out, get it out. Then she started laughing. I say, all right, you feel better? She said, yes, I do the same thing. I'm already irritated. Someone said something, someone did something, and now my face shows it. But now I can't walk around with this face. I have to say, okay, give me a second. Let me go in the restroom. I'll be right back. When I go to the bathroom, I got to put the song on, put it in my ear pods, whatever you need to do. Pray, fast, whatever you need to do, right? Spiritually, emotionally, I just want to be better than I was 10 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, right? Because I want to be the best version of myself. So the next move that I make is the best move for me. So that whoever else is in my life, whoever else is in my circle gets the best version of Quita. Not the broken pieces, not the layers, not the onion layer that I want them to see, right? The best version. WSAN says sometimes the truth hurts and most people need that real talk. Man, I'm trying to. That real talk, though, only comes from a mature space. Meaning, a lot of people are not ready to have mature conversations, hard conversations, because they're scared of losing someone. If you're afraid of losing that person, then you're like, well, I don't really want to say that because they might. But if they leave you, I promise you there's something better waiting for you. I promise. I promise. Every time I thought, I can't believe he left me, there was always somebody better that was willing to treat me better than the person that left me. I can't believe that friend said that to me and they left me. And there's always a better friend that's willing to be by your side, talk to you, talk through it with you than that person that left. Right? Sometimes your move doesn't mean that it's better or for worse, but sometimes it's just a different move. It might be a lateral move, right? It's understanding that your values can change, that who you were 6 months ago can change. So now you go from quantity to quality, to having a bunch of friends, to having a few friends, right? And lately I've noticed and I've watched my circle dwindle down smaller and smaller and smaller. And instead of me wondering what it is, I said, okay, God, I asked for it. I said, whoever is not meant to go with me to the next level, remove them. Simply that. But you have to also understand that if that is a cycle of me feeling like I have to have a bunch of friends, having a bunch of people around in order for me to feel adequate. I have to break that cycle and say, what is it that I'm really looking for? Right? Or is it a season where people are just drawn to me and that's where I need to be? Or is it that they're there and then they're gone? Understand that when you move, anything and everything that is holding you back has to be broken free. You got to be able to slice that thing down. Use your sword to slice that thing down. Stomp on the devil's head, crack his neck, whatever you need to do. But you need to take back your victory. Take back the very blessing, right? That is holding you back from getting your freedom. Make space for exactly what you ask God for. So this is another thing, right? So in my new house, I have an amazing closet. And in my amazing closet, I have already filled up all of the drawers, taking up all of the hanger space. I'm like, oh God, if I was to get a husband right now, all of his stuff would have to be in the drawers. But we would have to figure out a way, I guess, to take away my vanity area to make some more hanging space for him. But I started to think, am I really making space for what I'm asking God for? Or is this space simply for me? In this season, this space is simply for Quita. And whoever else is to come into the midst has to make space for Quita. Maybe that's what it is. So whatever you've been praying for in your secret closet, today is the day that I really want you to make the move to get there, right? Moving is a mental transition. It takes a lot out of you to know that you're moving here, but you have to embrace new habits, new plans. You may have to start over. You may have to let go of some things. However, it's going to get you further than where you were last month, last year, last week, the last hour. You have to be willing to sacrifice some things mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, right? Moving helps you to broaden your horizons. It helps you step outside of your comfort zone. If you only stayed in the same house that you grew up in, right? You haven't had to move on your own at any point. You haven't had to pay bills on your own at any point. Do you have the same values as those that have to pay every single bill, that have to go grocery shopping for themselves, that have to feed themselves, clothe themselves, pay for the water, pay for the gas, pay for the... Do you have those same values that they do when they say turn off that light when you don't pay for the light bill? Right? Ain't that what you tell your kids? Like, you don't understand how much it costs to keep these lights on because you're not paying for it. But when you start to take it out of their allowance and say, now you pay for it, and they're like, but you're the parent, you're supposed to take care of it. And you say, but this right here is the same thing I'm giving you, yet I'm teaching you the value of the dollar. Harsh conversations, right? WSAN, Mr. Rod, right? And same thing, harsh realities are to help get you out of your comfort zone. Yet these are the ones that become better adults. These are the ones that don't feel entitled. These are the ones that understand hard work gets them further ahead, right? And that is where it challenges you to think about areas and situations that you never thought you would be in, because you're like, I never thought that I would be in San Antonio. I never thought I would have the friends that I have. I never thought that I would be connected to amazing people like WSAN Radio, like Crystal, like Sandy, right? Like these people. Hey, how you doing, Lucky? These people that are here, my mom, my granny, right? My family, my friends that now have become my extended family. Never would have thought that San Antonio would have been my home. And yet here we are, new house and everything. And so I really want you all to think about, whenever you are moving, have you started to tag things or flag things, right? Put tape around the things that either need to be bound up or now need to be set as boundaries, right? This is where it stops. This right here, if you see this red tape, don't come past it. The boundaries are the things that you have to make when you are moving, to say, at this point in my life, I will not allow this to happen, right? I was watching tonight's conversations, and Kitty, which is one of the ladies that is on the panel, she said, do you understand that most of the time, she said something to this effect, most of the time, do you understand the reason why you are not further ahead is because you don't understand boundaries? And that really hit home for me. And I said, I think I do. And she said, you don't understand boundaries because you don't have boundaries for yourself. So when it's time for you to stop going out to eat, or when it's time for you to um you want to go out to eat, or you want to buy new outfits, but you know that you really need to be paying down those credit cards, what are you doing? You don't have boundaries for yourself. And so now that puts you at a sticky place for when you need to put other people within boundaries. You don't let people talk to you any kind of way. You don't let people treat you any kind of way. You don't let people say that they love you, but then they treat you opposite of what they say. Right? Right. So exactly, Sandy. She said it will hurt, but you'll feel better through time. Exactly. And so I really need to look at what are the triggers, right? What are the flags in my life that need to be addressed, that have the red tape around it, and yet I'm still trying to ignore them, right? The red flags, as we call them, right? Red flags, the triggers, the things that need to be made aware that this is where it stops and no longer will I cross, right? Speak of areas that need to be moved out of your life, unnecessary weight, unnecessary baggage, things that you don't want to take with you to the next location, right? Your area that you're supposed to be freed from, your freeing location, your liberating situation, your liberating relationships, your liberating, right? Whatever you're liberating, you fill in the blank. What happens when you take that baggage with you to that area that you were supposed to be freed from? Are you really free? Absolutely not. How you doing, Mama Brooks? Dr. Brooks, thank you so much for joining. So I really want you all to think about someone in your life, right? That has frustrated you, something that has got you frustrated in your life, right? And then you said, well, I might as well just take it with me. It's okay. I'm going to just deal with what they say. I'm going to deal with how they treat me because it's just easier. And then you take it to the next season or the next cycle of your life. So I had someone to help me. I had a gentleman help me to move. And instead of him saying, I was trying to go through things little by little so I wouldn't take all of the trash with me to the new house. He said, look, we don't have time for that. I'm going to just load up everything. We take it to the new house. You'll have time to go through it at the new house. You won't have to worry about time, being on a time constraint if you do it here. And I was frustrated. I was like, I don't want all that junk coming with me to the next house. I really want to have a fresh start. He was like, look, you don't have time for that. You do that at the next house. So here we are at the next house now with more stuff. And now I don't feel as liberated as I thought. And I'm like, at this chapter of my life, I really thought that baggage, that amount of unnecessary weight would still be here. However, is it a learning lesson for me? Absolutely. Absolutely. Life is like chess. It's not checkers, right? You can't just jump over things and then you feel like you won something. Once you jump over it, guess what? It's still an area back there that you can look back and say, man, that red spot is still back there. Man, that black spot is still back there though. Like I jumped over it, they might not be there, but the situation is still behind me. The difference is with chess, there's different players within there. So you might think that you're doing something as a pawn, but guess what? That queen is still going to take over, right? Be very strategic. You're not going to let someone just jump your queen. Absolutely not. You're just very strategic. So when you're thinking about whether this means jumping away or being strategic about how to get out of and move away from things such as domestic violence, such as unsafe neighborhoods, such as toxic workplace, unsafe food, unsafe water, toxic relationships, dysfunctional families, mental health, natural disaster, stress, frustration, personal values are no longer aligning with your goals. It is time to move. Absolutely time to move. And so because your personal development is on the line, which is why Real Resilient Conversations is here, to help you build up your personal development and to help deal with the mental health aspect behind being able to bounce back when life throws you a curveball, because it always will come. I promise you it will come. And I knew it was going to come tonight, but I just told myself um, what I was seeing wasn't going to happen. I just knew it because I know how the devil works. I know how the devil works. So I know how cunning he is, and I know how he tries to do the same cycles. So I just let it happen. The things that happen when you let it happen is that you allow the enemy to think that he's won, when truly I still see people that took the time out to join in. I still see people that are still tuning in and that are commenting because you cared enough to say, this is important for me. This is important for me. And so moving happens when we're self-aware. Number one, when we receive the proper support, which is what I'm here for, right? To be your support system, and for you all to be my support system. Today, you have shown me the support that I really needed to boost up my mental and emotional aspect behind really being able to give you all what you need on today. And so, being able to have people that are there to support your goals, to push you when you haven't met your action plan items, to say, where are you at? Where do you need to be? Why aren't you getting there? Right? And to really keep us in line, or to really be intentional about what you want to do. Right? And as you all already know, I have been very honest and upfront. Hot, honest, open, and transparent about how I still want to get married and I still want to have a baby. So because of that, I have to be intentional about my dating. If I'm dating someone that does not want children, or does not want to get married anytime soon, they want to date for the next 3 to 4 years, then I am not the lady for you. I do apologize. I thank you for your time. I hope you find someone else that is better suited for you. Right? Because you have to understand that my moving is intentional. My moving into a 4-bedroom house is because I'm intentional about making sure that my mother and my grandmother have somewhere else to live, that is in a safe neighborhood, that is comfortable, that is available for them. If I was to get married, they now have a 4-bedroom home that they can live in comfortably. Intentional about what I'm doing, right? And so there was a quote by Will Rogers, and it says something to the effect of, even if you're on the right track, if you don't move, you will still get ran over. Gosh, you're on the right track. You think you're doing the right thing, but you're not willing to move. You're not willing to make the steps. You're not willing to take the steps to get where you need to be. But you're on the right track, but you're not moving. You'll still get ran over. Think about where you are, right? Think about where you are. Think about where you want to be. And what are the steps that you need to take? What are the action items that need to happen in order for you to reach your goals? Are you doing it? And if you're not taking those steps, you're getting ready to get ran over. I promise you. All right. So guess what? This is what I want you to tell you about. Anything that you have goals that you have been intentional about, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. And let me tell you why. I promised you all that September 1, I would have, or the end of August, I would have the journal planner ready. It is set up. I just don't have it published yet. So now I feel like, Quita, what are you waiting for? Now I want someone else to look at it, make sure I did it right, make sure it's set up right, because now I am uncertain. I have gotten uncertain with myself. So don't wait, don't wait, don't wait. The time will never be right. The time will never be. Well, if I wait till next week, well, if I wait till next month, the time will never be right. Think about the people that had children. Some of them were planned, but it still wasn't right. It still wasn't the right time. It wasn't the perfect time. When you got married, it seemed right, but it still wasn't the perfect time. It didn't have the right amount of money. You weren't able to live at the right house or the biggest house, right? Everything wasn't right. Everything didn't absolutely fit. Don't wait. Don't wait. Right? WSAN said, take that leap of faith. Absolutely. Right? Denial because you love them. I think that when you deny yourself and you take up someone else's heart instead of your own, you are killing yourself. I know I shouldn't say that. Sorry, Facebook. Don't block me. You are taking away from who you are. Make the right moves. Take that leap of faith, like WSAN said. Right? Seth Gordon said, if it scares you, then that's the thing you need to do. I was always told in the military, if your goals aren't big enough to scare you, then they aren't big enough. They're not big enough, right? And so my favorite quote is by Albert Einstein. He said, life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you have to keep moving. Life is like a bicycle. You have to, in order for it to be balanced, you have to keep moving. Just keep moving. Y'all remember Dory on Finding Nemo? Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. That's how it is. I want you to just keep on moving. Swim through this thing called life. Make the right moves, make the right decisions to get exactly what you deserve. It's time to move, and today is day one of your moving journey. So I know that I am well past my time. It is 7 minutes past my time. But since we are out of time, I really want you to know that we covered the reasons behind your move and what it looks like when you move, right? It's not always going to be beautiful. It's not always going to be easy. I still have boxes waiting to be unpacked and place to put them, right? And it's not easy. It's still a transition. You're still going to have to work or still have to take care of children or cook. And now you still have more challenges that are going to come. Yet, remember, be very intentional about where you're going. Because where you want to go is where it's going to get you exactly what you've been praying for, exactly what you have been prepping for all these years. Right. And so if I have said something to help jumpstart your resiliency, I ask that you would go ahead, like, share, subscribe, send it to somebody else in their inbox. If you don't want to put it on your page, just tell somebody else, send the link to them so they can go and look at it on their own. Say, hey, if you don't want to watch tonight's show, check out some past ones, right? We've been doing this thing for over 3 years. I truly enjoy being able to speak with you all and interact with you all. And I love and appreciate each and every one of you for your time. I ask that you come back on the 23rd of September, 23rd September. And we're going to do a segment called, How Did I Fall for That? Right? I know it's September, and the question is, how did I fall for that? This is going to be an interesting one. I really want y'all to come back because there are some things that we have fallen for in our life, and we are still asking, did I fall for that? All right. So come back. Until then, I want to say thank you all. Love, peace, joy, and happiness I send to you. I do appreciate you. Until then, love you. See you soon. Bye-bye.